Hey everyone, welcome to In the Spotlight with AJ. How's everybody this lovely, we can finally say the UK sunny evening at last. We have got Andrew Dean all the way from Ohio joining us this evening on In the Spotlight with AJ, and he's also part of a band called Farm Machine as well. So we have got lots to talk about, me and you. I have been spending all day researching about yourself, young man, looking at your bio, listening to your music, doing all the things that a good podcast host should do. So I've had my day with Andrew Dean all day, and I've really enjoyed it. So, for our listeners, a little bit of fun facts. Okay, so Andrew, you are from Ohio and you are, wow, 25 years in the music industry and a multi award winning, being put forward for awards. They're coming from everywhere. Every time I look over your Facebook, there's award this, nominate me for this, nominate me for that. I take my hats off to you, young man. You do. I think at the end of the show, do you know what? I'd really like you to reflect how you got there, and actually, if we can help some other artists out there just starting, as Debbie did before, I think that'd be really great because I think it's everybody's dream to walk that red carpet and to receive their first award. And
Oh, yeah.
you've just got many. So you've got a big year coming up this year. You've got ISSA finalist of the year. When I put your bio up earlier, it just went on and on and on and on and on. And there's lots. There's album of the year. There is like male artist of the year, single of the year, album of the year. You've got a lot of awards, especially if you win them. Where are you going to put them all?
Oh, I've got a room.
Andrew said that before we come on the show that Andrew said that he's got the boss lady next to him, his wife, lovely wife.
Yep. Yep.
So I think she'll be deciding where all these trophies go.
She does. She keeps me in line. And actually she keeps me on track a lot of times. At least I can show up at the right place because she's told me this is where you are today.
She's your manager, is she?
She does. Yes, I'm telling you, I'd be lost without her.
Fantastic. I think we all would do without our partners. A good partner always looks after us, eh?
Mm-hmm.
You've got several chart topping successes. You always, when I'm looking at your Facebook, your songs are getting into charts. You're always getting people to say, come on, vote for me. Let's get this to number one. And you've got things going on at the moment. You've got a latest release, Looking Ahead, which is going for charts at the moment. You've got loads. You're going on tour. You just got so much going on. So look, come on, let's start right from the beginning. Where did this journey start? How did it start for you? What made you think, you know what, I'm going to be a music artist?
Well, actually, music has always been my life. It's always been in my family. When I was 4 years old, I'd get my mom's records out, put them on the stereo, stand with a yardstick and playing, like I was playing a guitar. And so at least when that was in my hands, it wasn't in her hands, so she couldn't use it. And it wasn't to measure how high I was; it was keep me in line. But I mean, I started out there and got into choir because my mom was a church organist, and so that's where I learned how to do harmonies and things like that, and so that's kind of where things started. When it came to bands and stuff like that, well, in my early days when I was a single kid, it was like the girls like the rock and roll, so it's like I think I'm going to like the rock and roll. It's time to get into this. And so I did.
So
And
how old were you? How old was you?
I started probably about when I was about 18.
Okay.
So just old enough to get into the clubs to play, but not old enough to do too much damage.
So, when was your first tour? When did you start writing? You've got a lot of awards for writing and things like that. When did you start thinking, do you know what, I'm going to go from jamming with my friends to being a really serious artist?
Well, that really came after I kind of changed my mode of thinking on what I got into country music because I like to tell stories of life. I think country really represents that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of influence there with that, and so I started getting my twang on, and and assembled a band, and we started going regional, which is like tri-state region. Started going around, and then it just and 2 years ago we did well, not 2 years, 3 years ago, we did 19 states just before the COVID. So yeah, we get around.
You do, you do. I've been looking at where you go. You're all over the place. It's one of the questions I got for you later. In terms of what's the tour looking like this year. Let's go for it. Tell me now, where are we going this year?
Well, it's pretty much in the States that we're in the States, but uh, we've got probably close to 300 shows, I would say.
Wow.
So, and they're all listed up in my website there. So, and people can go there and check it out. So,
okay. So if I was to come and see one of your shows, what would I be expecting to come to your show? If I've never been before, tell me a bit about the show.
well, that really depends on the style of the show because I style my shows to different things, different budgets, different events, different what somebody wants, that type of stuff. I can I can adjust the show however I need to. And I always look at music, this journey as rocks, pebbles, sand. The rocks are the huge shows where you walk out, you got your full band, and you're fully ready to go. Then there's like the pebbles, which is more like a duo. I can do a duo set for that type of budget. Or if you really got sand in your budget or in your pockets to pay with, then you just get me and the guitar. So it could go anyway.
And I'm sure that's not that bad. I'm sure that's like the ideal show to go to. Come on.
It's intimate. Usually it's an intimate show, and we just have fun. You have to
So
enjoy the ride.
is that back room with friends, or how big do we get? Do we go back room with friends? What's the biggest audience you've had in your career?
Well, when you open for George Jones and Terry Clark, it's a pretty big crowd. So I last year I was at a county event here in Sandusky County, and Georgette Jones invited me up on stage. So it was, yeah. So I mean, we have some really great friends. I mean, and I'm not kidding you, AJ. We're very, very blessed to do what we do. And there's not a day that I am not thankful for it, and thankful for the people who come out and support us and keep this dream alive, keep us going. Just I can't thank them enough.
Fantastic. Do you know, it sounds too positive to me. You've got the boss person next to you, okay?
Huh?
And I got Debbie with this one. AJ likes to dig the dirt, okay? We all know the music industry is a difficult industry to be in, but we all know that things can go wrong, and we all
Oh
know
yeah.
that we've had one of those times where we thought, that was really embarrassing. I wish
Oh
I
yeah.
hadn't done that. Come on, this is between the two of you. If not, I'm going straight to the boss lady. When you've been when you've been on tour, or when you've been on one of these, famous nights with the stars,
Hmm?
has anything gone wrong?
Not so much there, but
Okay.
in a show, I've had a guitar on me, and I used to, in my younger days, jump on the stage, jump off the stage, and jump back up on the stage.
Okay.
But
So
that all worked fine until one day I didn't quite make the stage. So yeah, I went down and I just kept singing, and I stood up and I could feel I peeled my shins up pretty good.
ouch.
But oh, we got through it. We got through it. But man, oh man, I needed a medic when it was done. And my boss lady over here, she says to me, "All right, no more of that.
No more stage
Yep,
diving.
no more of that.
Are you
No.
are you still stage diving now, or
Oh no,
have you
no, no,
kind
no, no, no.
of?
There's perfectly good steps over there. I will use them." Yeah. Oh no.
Has it always been plain sailing in music? Has there ever been any difficulty in music for you where you felt, what, I can't do this anymore?
There's always challenges. If it's something worth having, you're going to have challenge, and you have to just learn to overcome, learn to go around, learn to do. Maybe you need to restructure things and take a broader look at things. We've been there. We call that reinventing the wheel,
Okay.
and we've done that a lot of different times where we've had to just get in there and say, okay, this works, this doesn't work, so we're not going to do this, and we're going to bring this in and try this.
Yeah.
But I think you find some originality, you find some true grit in there, number one, but some originality in what your sound is and what you do that can develop out of that.
Definitely. And part of your bio, it says about being a producer and AR rep, and you're not just a singer. You've got a huge history in terms of being in the music industry for a long time. How do you put 300 shows together? I couldn't even think about it. It's like I could probably put 5 or 6, but 300. Where?
Yeah,
How do you do it?
one show at a time.
One show at a time. Do you just sit there all night? Do you just like
No,
everything just goes to bed and no one, it's just
I
music?
plan things out. I mean, I'll plan out depending on what all I have to put together. I'll plan it out. Sometimes I plan it out 6 months in advance. Sometimes, if it's a smaller show, I can plan it out that week. If it's a really small show, well, I just say let's go for it. So I mean, there's just different things and different ways you have to do it, depending on what you have to do.
Yeah.
But the important thing is to do it. You don't want to show up unprepared. You always want to come with an A game. So
That's it. Always come prepared.
you bet.
I was talking to an artist the other day. We were talking about, making yourself feel comfortable on a day, making you sure that you've got spares of everything in it, that you're going there with the right intentions and that nothing's going to go wrong. I used to DJ and it always used to be the most silliest wire in my case
Oh
that
yeah.
used to go wrong to a speaker. And I used to have 10 of them just to make sure that because it was so important to the show for it to happen. But it was the smallest of things. I was speaking to an artist the other day and he was saying these guitar strings, he has packs of guitar strings every time he gigs, just to make sure that he can always replace it quickly. And there's nothing worse than the show not going on, as Freddie Mercury said.
I take me a backup guitar. You got to have something ready to go while you get the other one strung up, tuned up, and all that. Because otherwise, I can't tap dance. I got 2 left feet, so it wouldn't be pretty. I'd wind up falling off the front of the stage. I might add to the show, huh?
Definitely. So, we've got these 300 shows this year. What's the biggest thing that you'd really like to go for? What's not been done yet?
Well, I can think of several things, but I would have to say
the boss lady's like, no.
Telling me. She's going, she's doing this. She's going. She wants to go to Hawaii or someplace. She wants to go to the islands and play. So yeah, oh yeah. Well, and again, if Mama's not happy, that's all part of it too. So
you've got to keep her happy. It looks as though you're going to be saving up to go to Hawaii and playing in Hawaii.
Happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife, happy life. Top tip when we go to top tips at the end. I think that's the best one for all of us, isn't it? Happy wife, happy life. That's fantastic. Okay, about what people don't know about you. You talk about your music a lot, to different radio shows, to different interviews. What do people don't know about you?
Well, I'm pretty down to earth. I mean, what you see is what you get with me. That's sort of just the way it is. But again, and I know I started saying this a little bit earlier, I'm so humbled by the people. Truly, I love seeing people succeed. I love to see other artists succeed. I love seeing other people succeed with what their dreams are, with who they. I'm gonna stand there and cheer right along. And you mentioned all these award shows and things. I meet lifelong friends there, and I try to get a front row seat. And the reason it's not because I feel I'm going to walk up there. That is so not the truth. The truth is I want to be there and share in their moment when they walk up, they get their award. They work hard. They work every bit as hard as I do. And so for them to succeed, I'm 100% there.
That's why I do these shows. I love, the people I meet along the way. That's why I developed One Life. My collaboration with artists, my work with charities. I don't do anything for profit. It's just basically a journey because it makes me happy. Music makes me happy, and the people that I work with make me happy, and the people that I meet along the way. And I've met so many amazing people over the last 6 years. I can't even count on one hand, one toe. It's just amazing. And it's such a humble side to meet artists like yourself who feel like that way. However big they are, however much many people they're playing to, they're just artists at the end of the day who are in it for the love of music.
Yeah,
and it's so lovely to hear. How about the hobbies? Come on, you must do something with your wife apart from music.
Well, usually that involves a nice beach chair and the beach, or sitting by the water and taking it, whether it's the Gulf of Mexico or it's the lakes where we are, that kind of thing. We take off our time together when we're not working. Is we just have some good downtime. And that just involves maybe taking a lunch to the lake or things like that. That you have to take time out. That's
Definitely.
so important. People get so busy and going that they don't take time, and then before you know it, the time is gone. It's like I
Where did they
should have.
go?
No,
Where did
I
they
don't
go?
want to. I don't want to be a shoulda, coulda. I want to be a we did.
Yeah, and I think that's really important in the music career. We were watching a film myself, me and my partner, about Amy Winehouse's story. And the importance of having time for your family, your friends, not being so consumed that you've got to be the next star, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. Your life's so important to take time out. And be with your family, be with your friends. Music's always going to be there. You could
Yep.
always pick your guitar up again. You can always pick your keyboard up again, doing the next
Right.
single, but your family aren't going to be, your friends aren't going to be. So, I'm glad you said
That's right.
that. That's
And
really, really, really
and
helpful.
I can tell you, we've had life experiences where we've stopped what we're doing because somebody wants to come over, family or whoever wants to come over, and they've come over, and then their appointment comes. They're gone. And so, how important was that time?
Hmm.
It was pretty important. So that's whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether it's people I meet. No, we've got to make time. You just got to make time.
Definitely, totally agree with that. So your time at this precise moment is preparing for your tours, your 300 shows. You're going to be absolutely worn out, young man. How do you
Yeah.
prepare? What does it take physically to prepare for something like that? Do you have to have a special
Um,
diet? Do you have to have a special routine? Do you have to be up at the set time in the morning?
you have to be scheduled. You
Oh,
have
for
to
sure.
absolutely. The time is. There are days I have hours scheduled out, and I have to follow that. Because of either interviews or whatever's going on. As well as there's many other aspects to what we do. I have a record label, so I have other artists that I talk to and things with that. And so all these things are mapped out, and it's like check, check, oh, check, check.
And
So
that's your daily as you wake up in the morning. It's sort of almost like, yep, dead on 6 o'clock. My alarm's got up. I've got to get up. six
yeah. Well,
fifteen interview with.
I don't even set an alarm. I automatically wake up
Do
at the
you?
same time. I'm one of those people. I don't know what it is about me, but I've just got to wake up, and the sun's up. It's time to go. Get up.
So tell me a bit more about this new single of yours, in terms of how it come about, why was it written? What's it about?
Well, Texas and Tennessee.
That's
Yeah,
good.
that song right there was written about a long distance love affair that some friends were going through. He was in Tennessee, she was in Texas, and he says, I'm gonna come down there on Valentine's Day." And she's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure." Well, he showed up,
Okay.
and they got married.
Oh,
So,
wow.
but yeah, so I mean, and they're happily married. But part of that story kind of switches into my wife and my story because we met on a blind date, and
Okay.
we both wear glasses, so I don't know who was more blind. But nonetheless, we met, and I told her that night, I says, "We're going to get married." And she looked at me, she goes,
On the
"Okay."
night, literally just the first day.
Literally on the
Wow.
night.
Okay.
Yeah, when I danced with her, I knew. It's
Wow.
just like I just knew. And so 3 months later, we got married.
Wow.
And
Fantastic.
that was 27 years ago.
Wow. And
So yeah,
she still keeps you in shape now, yeah.
she still keeps me in line. I'm telling you. How about that? I didn't think it'd last 27 minutes, but look at me,
Yeah,
27 years.
27 years. It's just still very much behind you. It must be really difficult, for your partner, but for partners when you do sort of move on in the music career and doing all these tours and things like that. It must be quite hard. Does it ever have a strain on relationships or a strain on families
Well,
when you're doing so
there
many shows?
yeah, there are. I mean, there are. We'll just say sacrifices that have to happen on both sides. Uh, she came from a family. Her dad was a professional trumpet player and vocalist in a big band.
Yeah.
So I mean, all her life, she's been surrounded with musicians. And I always joke around and say her mother told her not to marry any musicians, and she thought, or magicians, and she thought, oh, I messed that all up. Anyhow, she married a musician, and she wasn't supposed to. But anyway, no, uh, she's the light of my world. I'll tell you that right now.
It's lovely to hear. And, she sounds an absolutely amazing person. And, the journeys between you, obviously you got your band as well, so how many people's in the band? I've seen some pictures. Who else is in the band?
Well, we have the thing with the farm machine. I have different bands that I assemble.
Yeah.
And when I do that, sometimes it's a regional job or something like that, so I can use regional guys. Now I got guys out of Nashville.
Okay.
If the budget calls for it, I bring them. They're grade A players. They're top notch, and they've been around with a lot of different people and Hall of Famers. So I mean, yeah. And you talk about coming with an A game. When I set those fellas up and we're ready to go, it's on.
So,
And this one lady says to me, she says, something about you. I says, what's that? She goes, when that hat's on, it's all about business. And I said, yep, yes, ma'am.
is that where the farm machine come from? I was trying to get where
Yes.
the name farm machine come from. So it has
Yes,
to be running like a farm machine.
Yeah, I've used a lot of different talent. When we went out west, I had to use some guys from out west and things like that. That was, a lot of people don't realize the good old USA. It's a pretty big place.
It is.
It'll take me a day and a half just to get across the state of Texas. So, yeah, you can't always take everybody where you're going if the budget doesn't allow it. So, and it does come down to that because that's just business. So the business end of things.
The business end of things. So would the business end of things ever bring you to the UK? Have you ever thought about touring over here in the UK?
You know what? I would love to come over there. Now I haven't, and I've got a lot of different friends over there that I communicate with, and some who have come over here for things, and so yeah, I'd love to come over there. I'd love to go all through Europe, and I haven't, but I would love to.
Fantastic. Perhaps that's on the dream list for the next few years. You still keep
Yeah,
going. You don't stop. I think you're one of these artists who's just never going to stop. I think you're always going to be here and around.
Well, as long as the good Lord will let me and the creeks don't rise, I'm gonna do it.
Fantastic. Keep the music rolling. Keep the love for music. It's been an absolutely amazing day with you, Andrew. I've really enjoyed it. We've got probably about 5 minutes left. Let's reflect right at the end. Let's give some top tips for people who are just starting off in the music industry. Let's tell people what it's like about how, our little top tips to get them going. So give us your top three.
I think, what I really think, first off, you got to set goals.
Okay.
If you're really serious, set yourself some goals. Understand where you want to go and go for it. Don't hold back. Don't sit around and think it's going to fall in your lap, because you got to work for it. But the harder you work, you'll see things come around, and if it's your passion, if it's really inside you, then you've been blessed to have that. You need to share it, get it out there, and just understand that, here's the hard part. You say, what's the hard part? There will be naysayers. There will be those who are a little jelly or whatever. And so you do have to hear them sometimes. Don't let them take you down, because you're blessed to do what you do. You just keep doing what you're doing. And if they're really coming at you, you're obviously doing something right.
Definitely.
So, that's probably number one. Just write every day, sing every day, set your performance, practice. And then when you think you really have it good, you practice some more, because you want to be able to know it so well that instead of singing at people, you're singing with people. And there's a big difference there. The big difference is you connect more with your audience, you connect more with people. They sense where you're coming from. They give that love back to you. And it's such a fuller experience.
Definitely. Fantastic. Do you know what? Fantastic. I've really enjoyed my time around you. Thank you so much for joining the community here in One Life and being on the spotlight with AJ. I just want to say thank you so much again. I'm going to give you a round of applause like I do for everybody who I've been with. It's been an absolutely amazing day. And thank you so much for the support that you've given me.
AJ, I appreciate you. And thank you for taking time.
I definitely will, and I always will do. Okay, so my audience, obviously, if they're at the comment sections on YouTube, I'm sure Andrew, he's got a very busy schedule, but I'm sure if you leave me or Andrew a question, we'll try and get back to you after the interview today. But just thank you again, and we'll see you again soon. Okay, take good care. I'm going to stop the recording now. See you later. Take care.
Thank you.